Howdy all, welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little Ark Aberration. Alright, I am still out here hunting for Karkinos. I've got 11 rounds left. Last episode I tried, but just wound up killing everything I came against. So, hopefully we can get some new spawns and I can knock one out. You know, I knocked one out once before and then I did a stupid thing where I tried to take on a Spino by myself. Flat-footed, on the ground. I didn't work out so well. But I'm hoping that today will be a little more successful. It's been a weird week. About a month and a half ago, probably getting there. We started experiencing static on the phone line, but it would come and go, and so couldn't figure out what was causing it, and so I wound up having to call tech support. It was really bad. Like, static would come, we'd lose internet, and then it got to the point where the static was so bad that the phone picked up, and was just like on for 20 minutes. Like, none of the handsets were on, but when I did pick up the handset, I could hear it static, really bad static, and in the background you could hear the operator saying, "If you're in the state of emergency, please hang up and call the operator." Or not the operator, but the automated message. And so, oh, you know what? I haven't done my screen fix. Alright, so here we got Karkinos. Who is fighting a mole rat. Nope, now he's coming right at me. Ah, oh, dang it. Killed him. Killed him again. I know one of the Karkinos I tried last week, my Parasaur was on defend itself, or attack my target, and so it totally attacked the Karkinos. Not my intention. Alright, we probably got enough stuff here for one more try, and then I'll have to go back and get more iron and stone. Maybe I should check. Oh, I can't check from here. Let's go try for this Karkinos first, I guess. I want to try and get him out of the water, so that I don't have to fight against the piranhas. So I am trying to... Ooh, dude, there's just no way. That guy's too far away to hit from here. Let's get a little closer. But anyways, so you know, call the tech support, and obviously they're not going to be actually helpful. I mean, like, they probably are for some people, but I've already done all the things. Ooh, we got him knocked out. We got him knocked out. That was nice and quick. It's only level 3, though. So we'll give him some time here to tame, and then we'll see if I can lead him back to base. So they're like, "Oh, well, you're using filters on your phone line, because you have to put a filter right with DSL between your phone and the phone line if it's not connected through the modem." And so put the filter on. It's like the second filter we've had on there, and he's like, "Oh, it's definitely the filter." I'm like, "Okay," so I go and I switch things around. He goes, "And if it's not the filter," after like 2 hours of working with him, "if it's not the filter, then it could be your modem. Your modem's pretty old, so just go ahead and request a new modem, and we'll send you a new modem." I'm like, "All right." So I switched out the filter, and the problem is it's one of those issues where every little thing you do seems to be better because what you've got is getting older, and so uh, pulling the filters off means that there's less drag on the line. So obviously, my internet gets a little better. Uh, didn't help though. Still getting static, still getting kicked off the internet. And so then we order the modem. We get the modem. I put the modem in. Um, Obviously makes it a little better. Updated hardware, and so things are running a little smoother, but still getting static and getting kicked off the internet. So then we call and tell him we need a tech to come out and check the line. And so he comes out and he looks at a bunch of stuff and he gets really angry about what the previous tech had done like 7 years before, and says that no tech would ever do it that way, and that it was definitely me who had done that. And the trick being, though, is that the tech redid the wires in the house and replaced the box on the outside of the house. And so it's not my fault that the tech put the wires back with the wrong colors. A wire is a wire. I get that it makes it easier if you use matching colors on the plastic on the outside of the wire, but the wire inside that plastic is the same. And so I don't know why he was so angry, but he was like, "You're supposed to keep the colors together, and no tech would not keep the colors." I'm like, dude, I already told you. He replaced the box outside. He replaced the splitter inside. That was him. It wasn't me. All right, Karkinos, let's head back home. So I need. I was gonna stay there for a minute. My dude wasn't moving. I'm not gonna lie, Karkinos, I'm a little lost. I think I came from this way. And so, what he did, I later discovered, is he cut out the wiring that the previous guy had done. He may or may not have also disconnected another phone jack we had in the house that the phone used to be plugged into, and I'm not sure on that, but because I haven't taken the phone back upstairs to plug it in to see if it works. And so he then said he was pretty sure he figured out what the problem was, and he had to go outside and do something. And then when he gets out there, he just leaves. And so I don't know what he did. And so then a week later, we'd still been having static on the lines and disconnected from the internet. But it was fewer instances of that, but it was still happening. And then last Friday, we lost everything. And so we call, we get to tell them what's going on. They're going to send a tech out. The tech will be here on Monday. So we were without internet and phone from Friday until Monday night. And so it's a little crazy how much stuff that I do involves the internet. And so when there's no internet, like I got my cell phone, and so I can go on that to get my email and whatnot. But what you can't do is you can't play your online or your games that require you to log in online before you can access your single player games. I hate that. I hate so many things required you to log in to be able to access the single player version of the game. And so it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I only make videos with a couple of different games. I've already recorded videos for a couple of those different games. I don't want to record any more videos of those games. I can't get on Minecraft. I can't get on the other Minecraft. All I could do is Ark and 7 Days to Die. And so yeah, it was bizarre. And so then Monday we get the tech come out, and he's like, yeah. So it turns out someone cut the phone line a couple of roads down, and so there's no dial tone or anything on your phone line where you're at because they cut the phone line a couple of roads down. Like, seriously, aren't other people affected by this? Am I the last person on your line? What is going on here? But yeah, so he fixed that, and he's like, I'm having some issues connecting with the, or I'm having issues with your router not connecting at the speed it's supposed to, and your phone is only ringing once when it's supposed to be ringing multiple times, and so yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. And then he doesn't really. Come on, I want to take out all these dogs here. And so then he does a couple of things, and then we go outside to the box, and he hooks up his scanner to the box, and while it's out scanning the box, there are no issues, and everything is connected and working perfectly, he says. And so he is gonna go because he thinks he's figured the problem. I'm like, all right. He's like, yep, we just basically had to reset your router and stuff, and then it's connected fine. And once I got all that cable, I'm like, okay, so that fixes the not just the fact we didn't have anything, but does this also fix our static issue we were having on the line? He's like, oh, I didn't know you were having static on the line. I'm thinking, did you not read? We just had you guys out here. You'd think that you'd look up the service list. You guys not keep a service list on, like, why would you send someone out to work on a problem without looking to see if they've recently had other problems? Okay, I'm gonna need this. That was just bizarre to me, but yeah. So no, he said that would not fix that problem, and so he went back out to check the boxes nearby to see if mice had nested in them. Man, I'm getting really laggy here. I don't know what it's doing. I say laggy, but it's video stutter. Computer stutter. Even though the computer currently says 30%, 40%, 70% on GPU, memory, and CPU, but the game is acting like it's dying. Soft bear to land on. You are following me, so I need you to stop following. You're not following anybody, so I need to go make a Karkinos saddle. Alright. What goes into a Karkinos saddle? So, fungal wood and fiber. Alright. I doubt I've got fungal wood. Oh, you're... let's see what you're on. You're... Oh, yep, we're working on melee damage on you. No fungal wood. Melee damage on you. No fungal wood. And your leader... Oh, I do have some fungal wood. I don't know if that's enough, though. Oh, and fiber. Alright, let's grab the fiber while we're here. And, so yeah, so then he's like, well, you should check your line. I'm like, well, the guy ran scans, you ran scans. I'm like, I pulled out what I could see of the line, and so there's a filing cabinet in our garage, And so I pulled that out. And in the 1 foot of cable that's behind that filing cabinet, it looks like what has happened is either something chewed on it, or I noticed that the cable had been snagged on something in the garage, and so it's more likely that that cable was just getting jerked around by the people who live here who can't be careful for anything, and they wore a hole through the cable because the cable looked like it had been rubbed against something, not chewed on. Because there weren't like little bits missing, it was black, smooth streaks where it had been rubbed repeatedly against the corner of that. You guys with me here? Oh man, this is really bad. I didn't want to have to reboot my computer to record this, and so I shut everything down except for this game. And yeah, it doesn't normally act like it's doing today, which is annoying. Oh, we have to cross the river. Oh man. We have to cross the river, or we have to go someplace else. Ugh. Yeah, sure, let's fight. Let's fight right with this guy here, because he obviously has to turn and walk over top of me. Oh, there's some right here. We'll just go down here. So yeah, so I pulled that out and replaced it and got that working. So then, so that maybe is taking care of that. Oh no, and then once I had pulled the wire, I had enough extra wire that I could pull it loose and cut off the bad part and then reattach it inside the phone box outside the house, so that it was all one piece of cable from outside with, as far as I know, no nicks or cuts in it. And then when I came back inside, the phone works fine, but the internet doesn't work barely at all. And so then my ISP had an outage that lasted the rest of the day until partway into the next day. Like seriously, what is Netflix worked fine. I couldn't get most web pages to admit that I had clicked on them or typed in their address or anything like that, but Netflix worked perfectly. So go figure that one out. And I mean, like, I could change shows. I could shut my browser and start it back up with Netflix, and Netflix still working fine. But I couldn't open YouTube or check my email. But YouTube worked, or Netflix worked fine. Yeah. So it was interesting. Interesting situation, anyways. And hopefully that is solved for the most part. I can't tell with the internet if it's working great or not. In fact, right now it looks like it's not working at all. Again. And now it's back. So I don't know what's going on. It's super annoying. Luckily, nothing I do greatly requires... I mean, my job requires the internet, but what I do for my job is like intermittent, so I don't require a constant. And I don't really play a lot of online games necessarily, so I don't require a great steady stream. But man, they do complain here. They don't do anything about it, but they complain. All right, I know that speed. Oh, speed, health, and melee. That's what I need for this guy. Yeah, now we're talking. I have got my mount. He's very green. My very green Karkinos. That's right, and then I just punched that guy. Let's go, Karkinos. We gotta get you some levels. We gotta go smash some stuff. So, I guess the next thing I want to talk about. Oh, I've got like 11 minutes of video here. The next thing I want to talk about is D&D, because you know me, I like to talk about D&D. So I've got 2 games going where the same guy is the DM, and I got a game where I play with him, and someone else is the DM. And I talk to this guy all the time. We're friends, I guess. And so I don't really like that word friends so much, but he it seems to, I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot. Right and left clicks. Right and left clicks for the Karkinos. And so, when he's a player, he drives me crazy. Because he does things to make sure that his character is fully protected at all times, even if the rest of the party suffers. And he also goes out of his way to steal from people using the spells that he has as a wizard, so he runs out of spell slots that could be used to help us later because he's used them all to force merchants to give him more gold in game. And even though the rest of us have, well, not all of us, but even though several of us have spent hundreds and hundreds and thousands of gold to equip our characters, he feels that because the spells help more than just his character, that the entire party should be responsible for paying for him to get new spells. And I don't mean like his share of the treasure. I mean like he thinks we should chip in from our personal money pools to cover the cost of his new spells he wants to buy. Because they're for the party, they're not just for me. I'm like, yeah, well, by that logic, the 18,000 gold I just spent on armor for my frontline fighter should also be covered by the party, and not just me. I guess I'm going to run this guy up to about 4,000 hit points before I start working on his melee damage here. And so, anyways, man, why are you doing this? You're even lower on the stats than you were before when you weren't having problems. Ooh, it's a new box. This will be great, because this guy could use... Oh, that did not count as a new box. Disappointed. I did get the XP bonus, though. So, so basically my 2 stories I want to do real quick here both have to do with him as a DM. So, we're doing a play-by-post where you basically email your turns back and forth. We're using Discord, so we're instant messaging our turns back and forth. And, and he has been almost absent for 3 weeks, and so this week he's been posting a lot more. So we finally have made it out of the fort we were in for almost a month in real life. In the game we were there for less than a day, but in real life we were there for over a month. And so so we're in the jungle now, and we're going along, and we run into some brontosauruses, and so they chit-chat with the brontosaurus using spells, and the brontosauruses are eating this root, and it's called wild root, and so after they chit-chat, we move on, and then suddenly we stumble across a large group of zombies. Now, we're level 2, because he has decided that we will no longer be getting XP, we will be using Milestone, and he will choose when we go up our levels, because he doesn't want us to outlevel the content of what he has decided we're going to be doing. Which is the key issue when you're playing D&D, is that The players are supposed to make the choices, not the DM. And he doesn't like it that way. He likes it when he gets to make the choices on what we're doing. And even how we move our characters sometimes. Which, you know, isn't great. And so we stumble across these zombies. There are 20 zombies. There are 4 of us, and we're level 2. 4 zombies equal level 1. 8 zombies equal 4 level 2s. So basically 2 zombies per person. That is an even fight. 2 zombies per person. So there are 4 of us, so 8 zombies would be appropriate at our current level. Obviously, when you level up, it would take more zombies to equal 1 person. But at level 2, 2 zombies equal 1 person. There are more than double the number of zombies that we should be facing at our level. And so he describes the area. The zombies are eating something. They're in a clearing. We back up 60 feet away from the zombies, around a bend in the road. And, oh, I thought you leveled up, but it was me that leveled up. Have I made it to 200 yet with my melee? No. And so, we're 60 feet away from the zombies now. And so I'm like, can I tie a rope across the road here? And he's like, sure, there's lots of things you can tie the rope across the road. And so then we discuss what we're going to do. And because they reacted to a bird flying over, making sound, our warlock was going to cast a spell on the opposite side of the clearing from us, because the warlock wants to know what the zombies are eating. And we were told that the area was full of wild root. And so I thought, I'll bet he wants us to go back and get those Brontos to come stomp on these zombies. And so I'm like, well, we could go around them, or, you know, I feel like we could probably, if we're careful, fight them, because zombies are slow. We could range them, you know, whatever you want to do. And so, like I said, I'd already asked. We're 60 feet away. They can't see us from where we're at, he said. And so my plan was to stretch this rope across the road so that if they do come down the road, they would trip over the rope, probably. And so we've decided to fight them. And so I'm like, all right, I will. The warlock is like, I'm gonna fire the bolt to distract them. And I'm like, and I will take two characters, and stretch the rope across the road. And so then he says this: roll stealth. I'm like, yep, makes sense. They can hear us, they can't see us, so we'll roll stealth to see if we make too much noise, so that they would be aware and come for us. Sure, makes sense. And so I roll stealth, and I roll okay with one and terrible with the other. And so then he tells us what happened. My characters ran 20 feet toward the zombies before tying the rope for some reason. I didn't choose that. He said that. Your characters run 20 feet forward down the trail toward the zombies, and they step on a branch, and they are visible to the zombies, so all the zombies turn and look at your character. Roll initiative. And that's ridiculous, because I hate when he does this, and he does it all the time. He thinks it's okay to move our characters around so that we're in the maximum most annoying position when fights start. So yeah, so that's the point we're at the moment. And then he sends me messages, and he's like, yeah, you guys were supposed to get the Brontos to come and stomp those guys out, but you didn't do it that way, so you're in trouble now. And I figure, you know, they're close enough that all you'll be able to do this turn is disengage and run. Otherwise, you're going to get your character killed. And I'm like, whatever, fine. So I guess from this point on, I'm just going to have to be super explicit with what I do with my character. I feel like if your DM says you're 60 feet away and there's plenty of stuff to tie the rope to, and you say, okay, I'm going to tie the rope across the road, they should get that you mean at the point that you're at, and not that you want to run toward the other or the creatures that you're trying to set a trap for. I mean, that seems the most logical thought process there, not to, oh, obviously if he's going to tie a rope across, he means he's going to go up and rub his face on the zombie first before he bothers to actually tie the rope. Yeah. So then, oh man, I've done run out of time telling that story, but I'm going to tell the other one anyways. So the other thing should be a little shorter. So I also play a voice chat game online with him. We use a program called Roll20 where you can see tokens and maps and stuff. And so, like, when you move your token, it moves for everybody. And then when you use the voice chat through Discord to actually, do the verbal part of the game. And so my character has a Rapier of Warning. And so the Rapier of Warning stops you and any of your companions within 30 feet from being able to be surprised. And that is what the description says. That's it. That's the rules. It also, like, you can't be, if you're asleep, it'll wake you up as long as it's not a magical sleep. And man, it really doesn't like being over here. And if you I know there's another thing. It stops you from being surprised. Oh, and it gives you a double roll for... Oh, am I still being attacked? No. That guy was dead. And it also gives you a double roll, take the higher. It's called advantage. You roll twice and take the higher for initiative, which is the order you go in when you fight. And so he absolutely hates that he's given me this item. And so he's always doing stuff that it says he can't do. And so last night really irritated me. And so next time we play, I'm definitely going to have to be arguing more, and because he had two creatures drop down from above us, and because they weren't attacking us, well, no, they were melee attacking us, which you have to do from 5 feet, but because they started their movement from farther than 30 feet away, it doesn't count, he said. I'm like, yeah, but the attack doesn't happen until within 30 feet, and once they breach that 30-foot plane, would they not activate the attack? That, well, your reactions aren't that good. No, that's what initiative is. How do you not understand how this game works at this point? We've been playing for like over 2 years. It's super frustrating. Super frustrating. I mean, nothing really has had that big of an impact, but it just adds up in the irritation department. So now we're waiting for him to put the map down for our play-by-post game so that we know where the zombies are at, because it's the zombies' turn, so that we can continue our combat, because we've already taken 2 people's turns for the first round, but somehow they took their turns, and now he wants to switch to a map because it's the zombies' turn. Not that he put together the map yesterday when he had time, No, he says he's going to do it tonight when I know he's going to be gone most of the night. And I do meet until like 11 p.m. So... And you'd think that he knew this encounter wasn't coming, that he would have taken a little bit of time to go ahead and prepare it. But he doesn't prepare anything ahead of time either. He waits until we're in the middle of it to start. Oh, that was the other thing. I got one more thing about the in-person game that we were playing. Not in-person, but the, voice chat one. Another thing that he does that's super irritating is he likes to control what you can see. And so there are rules on what you can see. And so he doesn't like them because he wants us to die. He does play from the point of view that it's him against us, which is not what you're supposed to do. And so he has he has gone and the program we use, Roll20, has a thing called dynamic lighting. We don't use it very often because it requires him to prepare ahead of time, and so what he normally does is he just blacks out the map and then deletes the black off the map when he thinks we should see something. We're supposed to be able to see 60 feet, and he usually only lets us see about 15 feet because he doesn't want us to see like where walls are half the time, or where creatures are in other rooms that we should be able to see, but he doesn't want us to engage with those creatures yet. And so last night we were playing on a map where he actually had the dynamic lighting on there, but his last couple of playing around with dynamic lighting, he has decided that from the DM's point... Oh, look, I picked you up. From the DM's point, he can... there are layers. We just see the map. And so if there's something on the map, it has to be on the layer we can see. There's the player layer, and then I don't know what the other layers are because I've never run a Roll20 game. But there are other layers, and so he has all the creatures on the other layer. And so because they're on the other layer, we can't see them. But he has dynamic lighting on, and so we walk past like these rooms, and you can't see any bad guys in the rooms. And he waits until we enter the room. Actually, most of the time we're in the hallway, and then he takes our characters and he moves them into the room. And he's like, so you guys walk into the room, and and then suddenly you noticed 10 feet away a group of cultists who are performing some kind of ritual. I'm like, dude, we can see 60 feet in pitch black darkness. That is an ability that we all have. We can see 60 feet away. Minimum. 60 feet. Unless there's some kind of spell preventing it. 60 feet. We can't just randomly walk into a room and suddenly notice there are guys there. The one guy just rolled a 23 perception. Actually, I think he had a 29 perception at one point last night. We can't just suddenly notice after we walk in the room that there are bad guys in there. Oh. It's making me irritated just thinking about it. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it here, so click like if you like, subscribe, be sure and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.